It's the Beer Olympics. We're excited about London 2012, which starts in 8 days' time. So to celebrate, we're going to pubs, and more pubs.
Yes, it's getting very exciting here. We'll be going to 6 different pubs representing 6 different nations, and we've got an ultra rating system that's going to suit your taste buds as we go to find out which pub is going to be the Olympic champion.
Now, I think that a great pub must have a great beer. So my category is I think I'm going to rate the pub on its beer. Jay?
Well, for me, a great pub is a pub that does not have an identity crisis. It's a pub that knows it's a pub and doesn't try to pretend it's a club.
I like it, very well said there, guys. I like a pub with stability and really good structure, and if you're heading down the stairs there, you know, need it to be a bit more accommodating. But before we get there, I've got our very famous Top Drop mission, which is gaining ratings hits right across Top Drop TV. And our Top Drop mission this week, very particular. One of you from each pub must speak in the accent that the pub represents. An English pub, for example, requires an English accent. An Irish pub requires an Irish accent.
Easy enough.
Fair enough.
As we'll be going to 6 pubs, each presenter must represent or visit 2 pubs each. And we will be rated on a scale of 1 to 10 by the bartender on how good our accent is. Now, there's always a punishment, guys, so stay tuned for this one. The presenter with the lowest score at the end of the Beer Olympics will have to carry a toilet seat around in the next episode of Top Drop.
Toilet humour already.
I'm not going to be doing that.
It's only taken us 7 episodes, but anyway, that's a new record for XY generation, I suppose.
I reckon you guys are in contendership this time around.
We are, and it's toilet humour, but it's particularly bad toilet humour.
Explain to me good toilet humour.
No, can't.
Okay, well, let's just get on with it then.
Well, guys, on your marks, get set, let's go. Stepping up to the starting line as the first nation in the Beer Olympics, representing England, it's the Great Britain Hotel. They are high hopes of a nation that sports 3 nights of original live music every week. Can Jay live up to the challenge of being a true Brit, considering that this hotel is so British, it's known as the Great Britain?
Hello, barkeep. If I could please order a jar of your finest piss.
Sure. There you go, mate.
Ah, excellent. So just tell me a little bit about this place. Like, it's stunning. Why is it called the Great Britain?
Called Great Britain a long time ago. I have no idea why. Current owner wasn't really happy about it. That's why he put Indian nationalists who drove the British out of India on the front to show that we're actually not a British pub.
What? Sorry, you're not a British pub?
Well, no, I'm sure it was a long time ago when, we still had the pounds, but it's been a long time since, the good old days.
So you mean everything here is just taking it out of us?
Yep, pretty much.
Well, this is an abomination. This is a total disgrace. I am going to drink this beer out of spite and leave this establishment.
Go back to where you came from.
Would you mind just popping that in the microwave, please? It's a little bit cold.
Geez, it was some nice piss. Now I need to go. Next on the beer agenda is my criteria, structure. I need to find the distance between the bar and the toilet. How we do this is we need to use the Goldilocks zone. It's not too far, it's not too close, it has to be just right. Geez, this is a bit of a hike. A little bit too long for my liking. 20 metres. Ooh, too far away from me. What do you do? Nick was helping me out with structure. He wanted to know how sound and level the building was for beer placement. Looking good here. Next up is drinking space. What do you think, Jay? 4 points. Let's see how you go with your British accent.
And just finally, out of 10, how was the accent?
I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Thank you, jolly good sir.
Enjoy your piss.
the Great Britain. Great piss, great facilities, but not so British. Let's go and see how our next countries will fare in the Beer Olympics. We're here with Joe Bridgman here at PJ O'Brien's in Melbourne. How are you, mate?
I'm good.
That's good. Now, I understand you're not from Ireland around here at all. That's you're over here travelling. What's the story?
I'm the one and only token Kiwi in the venue. Everyone else is Irish, English or Scottish. So obviously they've picked the one person from the wrong side of the world for this. Works well.
Now, I'm here with Amy. I do not believe that this pub is Irish enough, so we've got the one person that can clarify it. How are you going today?
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm feeling pretty good. I don't believe it. Is this actually what Irish pubs are like?
Absolutely. You could not get more Irish than what you see here.
Now I'm just trying to see how Irish you are.
Through and through, down to the core. To be sure, as they would say.
Well, see, that just sounds like cliche, like you're trying to sell it. So what do you think of her?
Oh.
Okay, that's an Irish response, so that's a good start.
No comment.
Euro,
Not too good for us, was it?
definitely an Irish reaction there as well. We'll move right along because we really don't want to dwell on that one there too much.
No.
Okay. What brought you here to Australia?
Well, my sister was here 5 years ago. She worked in this bar as well. Absolutely loved it. Spent 9 months here. So after hearing about her experiences, I wanted to come here as well. Meet new people, do a bit of travelling, but mostly just have a bit of crack and, see how I go.
It all comes down to the crack.
It does.
I'm sold now. This is an Irish pub. This is an Irish lass.
It is apparently quite traditional with sort of typical small town pubs back home. The pub was opened 15 years ago the other week, so it's just celebrated its 15th birthday and it's aging quite nicely. Apparently a lot of effort was done in the opening to just sort of bring in a lot of character from a traditional Irish pub. The big parts of the big roof work here were actually brought over from Ireland, which was part of original brewing gear and things like that from a distillery, but all part of it, yeah, works quite well.
Stay tuned till after the break. How will Ireland fare in the Top Drop Beer Olympics?
Absolutely magnificent. Now, we've got a few of our fine beverages over here, which typify Ireland, Irish. So started getting tucked in their Kilkenny before. Tell us a little bit about this beverage and how popular it is on the market.
The Kilkenny's a nice consistent Irish beer. It's definitely not as heavy or as full as the Guinness, but it sells quite well. It's sort of the runner-up for the Guinness. Some would say the softer version of a Guinness. The Guinness is a big seller in here, especially. We would be one of the highest Guinness sellers in Australia, I'd like to think. Not entirely sure for certain. We'd average between 18 and 20 kegs a week, which means that we're pulling a lot through the taps, we're cleaning the lines regularly, and it means we do have one of the best tasting Guinness in Melbourne, which we're all quite proud of. We all put a lot of effort into making the perfect pour and things like that. We even had a competition a few months back now, run by Diageo, who obviously own and operate Guinness, to see who could pour the perfect pint, which was quite fun. We brought in a wee private bar with 2 taps, and we had a Guinness pint man suit and everything, and so had a big competition for the month to see who could pour the perfect Guinness, which was a lot of fun. Turns out the staff can pour the perfect Guinness, which we're relieved for.
One of my big gripes with Guinness is it takes too long to get a drink. So this being the Olympics and all, Jay and I thought we'd time it. Another top drop useless fact.
So there we are. It's taken us just a lazy 2 minutes 31.5 seconds for me to be able to enjoy the Guinness.
The ciders in Australia, from what I know, have just started booming off in all the markets recently. The Magners Irish cider is, of course, traditionally an Irish cider that has been imported here through, I forget off the top of my head, I think it's also Diageo as well. No, it's Centauri. So Centauri import Magners. They do it in the standard bottles and things like that. But for most of the Irish lads down here on a Sunday afternoon, especially over summer, they're keen for the big pints in a bit bottle. It works quite well. And so it's been absolutely booming through us. We shifted a very large quantity of it. And they'll all sit down with a pint of ice and just chew through the big pint bottles.
Now, Jay, you are the only person I've ever seen who has a Guinness chaser
Yep.
with a Jameson.
Yep.
Explain.
Right. Well, look, as you know, or you know, people at home may not know, I'm from an Irish family, and my grandfather taught me, now whether this is the Irish way or his way, but my grandfather taught me that because the Guinness takes a while to settle, you start off with the Jameson.
Yep.
By the time you get through that, your Guinness should be ready to go. It should be nice and settled. And then, if you're having a really big day, by the time you get about halfway through the Guinness, you should be ordering your next one. So that when that comes and you finish that one's ready to go.
Good plan. I like the Irish way.
And then we've also got the Bulmers. I didn't actually know they served it in blackcurrant, but that's another Irish beverage that's certainly come through on the market. It's very popular here in Australia. It is an Irish beverage.
Yeah. Bulmers is actually brewed through Foster's. So it's brewed in Australia, all that sort of stuff, but it is an Irish product. Works quite well. They've only just released the blackcurrant within the last 6 months, I think. So it's come out in the pint bottles as well, and it's hitting that summer market where you want to have something nice and sweet to finish off your day, and it definitely is a lot sweeter than your standard ciders, but works well over summer.
Sensational. So it goes to show there are a nice wide variety of beverages. If you're not a fan of the Kilkenny, the Guinness, the sort of stout. Have they done anything like of a draft perspective? I know there's the Millers you were saying that is US beverage, but what's the story there?
I haven't encountered any in our bar. I think at one point we had Harp, which may have been an Irish beer as well, but the Irish beers don't tend to sell hugely well through us. All of the Irish lads that are in are after a Guinness, a Kilkenny, or a cider on a nice hot day. So we don't tend to do any Irish draft beers at the moment. There is talk of, in the coming future, getting a few Irish draft beers in on tap, as we're going to have a few more taps to play with. So we might start looking into that over the summer, which could be fun.
Jay.
Yes.
Now, have you ever had an Irish cocktail?
I have.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Delicious.
The Irish whiskies are all very unique, just in the different ways they're distilled, and also the different parts of Ireland that they're made. It creates for the sort of the different flavours and things that they're getting from the different products that they're putting into it. But having said that, I'm not a whiskey drinker myself, so probably not the best person for it. But we do have a massive stock of different Irish whiskies, Scottish whiskies as well. I mean, if you're going to go for whiskey, you can't overlook them. So it works well.
One of the big questions I've got to ask you is obviously in Ireland we're used to a few bar brawls. So if a brawl just happened to break out in front of us or something, but do you casually cheer them on? Do you get everyone to get in right into it?
If I only know. That means we don't have bar brawls, which is kind of a relief. I'm not one to jump in a bar brawl myself, not quite built for it.
So Paddy, what religion are you?
I'm a Protestant.
I'm a Catholic.
Catholic?
Sensational. Now, obviously, we got a lot of Irish bar staff here in PJ O'Brien's. Is there like a prerequisite to have to become a barmaid?
If you've got Irish on your CV, it definitely puts you towards the top of the list. But we're definitely not hiring only the Irish. It's mainly Irish, English, or Scottish. We've got a few Scottish people working for us as well. But it definitely helps when you see born in Ireland on the top of the CV. Tends to get bumped up the list, so works well.
What do you love most about working in an Irish bar?
Being a Kiwi, I find the Irish people are very similar to the Kiwis in a sense. They're all really friendly. They all have a good story to tell. They're dead keen to have a beer, and they're all always telling a good story, or asking how you are and things like that. They're a great people to interact with, and it's made me very tempted to head towards Ireland myself.
Now, obviously, as part of our top drop mission, I've got to you've got to give me a rating on my Irish accent. And no, I know you're not an Irishman, so I'm going to back your judgment here because you work with Irish lasses over here, or laddies, or whatever. Here we go. What can you give me an okay rating, or do you want to give me something? I don't know. What do you think?
So is it out of 10?
Out of 10.
I'd probably have to go ahead and give you a 7. You swapped into Scottish occasionally, which was very confusing, but on the whole, definitely a good attempt.
Thank you very much, mate. I'll drink to that. Thank you very much, Joe, for joining us here on Top Drop.
Hey, spot on. Thank you very much for coming down with us.
So far, Ireland was scoring high. It was now time to review structure. Bar is level. Bonus points for the Irish cocktail. Now, what was the distance between the bar and the toilet? Roughly 8 metres, well and truly within the Goldilocks zone, looking good. It was time to leave PJ's. The only marks deducted were for the Irish escalators.
It's been a very testing time over recent times in my life. You've got to take it one beer at a time, take it one step at a time, and always have the edge to go that one drop further.
I've been drinking like no one else. I've been drinking hard. I've been drinking as much as I can to better anyone in this competition. People say that drinking is an easy thing, but drinking as an Olympian, now that's something special.
So many sacrifices that you have to make sure that you're in tip-top condition. I mean, drinking pints is not an easy thing to do. You can't just rock up off the street and think you can win.
And next on the Beer Olympics starting blocks was Canada. How would I go with a Canadian accent? While we were at the World, we met up with a young Canadian traveller who made for us their national Canadian drink. I'm here with Megan at the World and it's Canadian Day.
Oui.
Oui. Just want to test your Canadian authenticity. Parlez-vous français?
Oui.
Oui, you're definitely Canadian. And what are we drinking here, Megan?
This is the Great Canadian Bloody Caesar.
Consists of?
Clamato juice, which is clam and tomato juice, a little bit of Tabasco, Worcestershire, salt, pepper, and a celery salt rim, celery to garnish.
Ooh, that sounds interesting. Give me a little go. It's very, very strong. A lot of Tabasco in it, and and this is a national drink.
National drink, sell them by the millions.
And you're proud of this?
Couldn't be prouder. Almost sold out today.
Excellent, excellent, because it tastes amazingly good. Okay. Well, thank you very much for doing the interview, Megan, and good luck for Canadian Day. And if you were going to rate my accent, how would you rate it?
I'd give you an 8.
An 8! Cup that, Chris. Okay, beautiful. With the maple leaf flying strong, we actually sampled a few more Canadian honey beers, which were very good. Unfortunately, marks were deducted for the playing of some Celine Dion and Bryan Adam covers. Good work, Canada, for being a great competitor in the Beer Olympics. I don't know about you, Chris, but I'm beat. Holy moly. Whose idea was this Beer Olympics?
Top Drop Management, we're coming back to get you.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm loving this. I'm pumped. This is awesome.
You want to do a lap of the MCG?
I've lost count.
As long as it's a lap of the MCG's beer stalls, I'll be fine. This is grouse.
Jay, you are an animal.
Still going. Just 110%. Take it one pub at a time.
Signing out. Top Drop. What show is it? Top Drop. That's right. Jay?
Please.
In part 2 of the Top Drop Beer Olympics, we will find out which nation will reign supreme. Will the Beer Olympians crack under pressure? Who will lose the Top Drop mission and be forced to wear a toilet seat in the next episode of Top Drop? Thank you very much.
So now tell me, Scott, what type of Belgian beers do you have here?
Lots.
We have an in-depth chat with one of Australia's leading craft brewers and lots more. So stay tuned for a jam-packed part 2 of Top Drop's Beer Olympics.